What's up, guys? We're back on the third ever episode of the Yee Yee Podcast. Today, we're doing it a little bit differently. We're all in different places. So Parker's on the bus right now, and we're just going to zoom into each other.
What's up, guys?
So Caleb is also beside me. And so Caleb is our warehouse manager. He's been on a bunch of podcasts with Granger. So if you've been listening to Granger Smith podcast, then you're familiar with Caleb, and he is going to jump on with us today. We are so lucky.
Hello, everybody.
So cool. Parker, will you tell us a little bit about where you've been this week? You've been out of the office for about, I guess it seemed like we wrapped the last Yee podcast episode, and then you took off on the road, and you've been gone for about the past week. So why don't you fill us in on what you've been doing and where you've been?
Yeah, I'm back here in Granger's office right now. He's out there with Keeping It Dutch, the Homestead family right now. And so I had like an hour and a half, and it actually turned out perfectly because we've been in like spotty Wi-Fi. I'm sitting here writing down all the places we've been in the last 4 days because I honestly don't remember. Our joke when we're on the bus is you get off and go in the gas station, go to the bathroom, and you have to ask like the attendant what state you're in. So it's definitely been one of those weeks. Right now we're in Kansas. Thursday, we left the Yee farm and we went to just outside Nashville, Tennessee to shoot one of Granger's new music videos for his new single. So y'all will hear about that here in the next couple weeks. We'll announce that. And which was unbelievable. It was by far the coolest music video I've ever been a part of. I think it's Granger's coolest music video of all time. So you heard that here first. I think it's going to be amazing, just insane.
I'm so hot for it.
Yeah, I was telling the guys before we hopped on here that it reminds me of like a Jurassic Park meets like Walking Dead level like vibe. So that's going to be really cool. From Nashville, we went to Kentucky. So basically, this is like a tour, but Granger's not playing music. We're just going through and collabing with different YouTubers kind of in our space, and then meeting a lot of guys like in the outdoor and guns and truck renovation space that we haven't got to meet before. So Tennessee, we went to Kentucky to see Kentucky Ballistics. Scott, super awesome guy, got the bus stuck in his front yard, which was pretty hilarious. I'm sure y'all saw that on socials. And shot some automatic guns and shot some watermelons, what you do with Scott. And the next day we went to First Form, which is a supplement company. They're in St. Louis. And for those of y'all that don't know, I know Hayden and I look up to the Frisella brothers, Andy Frisella and Sal Frisella. Andy Frisella runs the biggest business podcast in the world at one point. I don't know where it's at right now. It's called Real AF. And his brother, Sal, is the president of First Form, which is the company that they started. And I always joke that Sal is like my spirit animal, and then Andy is like Tyler's spirit animal. But I always really resonated with Sal because Sal's the president and kind of handles the day-to-day operations, but he's like under the radar and doesn't get a lot of press. And so he's a really knowledgeable guy and learned a lot from him.
Literally the definition of you with Granger for all these years, and then now even Tyler, since Tyler's been on the biggest reality TV show in the world.
Yeah, and what's so crazy is he was like, 12 years ago was when I really came on from a different role to start running the day-to-day of the company, and it's amazing to see how far we've come. And he's 39, so 12 years ago he was my age. He was 27 when they brought him on. And they have over 300 employees, 188,000 square foot warehouse. And just like, I don't know if y'all have experienced people like this, but I was talking to Granger and Tyler after we talked with them. And it's like every once in a while in life, you'll run into people who just go out of their way to help you. And they're just people who pull you up the ladder. And even if you're even though we're not in the same space and we're not a competitor, but it's like, the guy's running like a $500 million company. Like his time is so much better spent doing other stuff. But every once in a while in life, you'll just run into people who are just like salt of the earth, charismatic, selfless people who just like will take 2 hours out of their day to just answer your questions. And it's like, I think we could all name a couple people who are like that. And it's just really inspiring to to see that, and I want to be that guy, somebody one day. So yeah, so that was Sal at First Form, and so they're a big inspiration for what we want to do with Yee Yee Apparel and on the business side. So that was more of a trip for me to be able to meet those guys rather than any kind of content or anything like that. After that, we went to Andrew's place, Fishing with Flair, which a lot of people have been wanting us to collab with for a while. So that was a ton of fun. Flair's just an amazing guy. I didn't realize he just turned 24. He's super young.
Wow.
And we shot a full auto BB gun. So I've never seen that. So that was pretty fun.
Did he rig that up himself?
No, he bought it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah.
We gotta find one of those for the farm.
So he also had a lever action 22, and Granger bought one immediately after we left. Like, you know, the old school like cowboy guns, like the lever action. Granger bought one right after we left. He's like, Lincoln has to have this at the Yee farm. And then we went to today we ended up in where are we? Kansas, and met with Weston Champlin, and he picked us up in a school bus. And today was the most insane day that I think of the whole trip. We just like took a school bus out in a field and went mudding, and he like ran into trees, and he is a psychopath in the best possible way. So that was awesome. And then now we're in Oklahoma, actually.
And you're gonna be back this evening?
Yeah, we're coming back tonight.
What's funny about it's always funny from a outside perspective to see like what's going on while half the group's in one place and half the group is in another place. So I'm posting on socials like different stuff that's happening at the warehouse, like updating people on the shipping, and then at the same time, like 10 minutes later, something will be posted from Yee Apparel that's just out in the middle of some field in Kansas or Iowa, you guys doing your thing. And I think that's how this is going to be one day, even more so, as we've got just 5 different crews doing different things, whether it's filming, whether it's collaborating with other brands or whatever. And it's just going to be this ecosystem back at, whether it be on socials or a website or YouTube or whatever. It's just going to be like this one spot. Yee is the hub for all these different things happening. But it's funny that you said that about Weston, because I guess me personally, I didn't know as much about him. And I think we just hadn't, us as like our entire group hadn't communicated with him as much in the coming weeks. And then Granger was like, yeah, and then Weston, like it's right on the way. And he sent his YouTube over, and we were watching it and just geeking out on some of the videos. But it's funny that you say that ended up being just like one of the most insane days of your life, because I don't think that was initially one that we had circled, and then it just worked out perfectly. And that's how a lot of these relationships we've seen come about sometimes.
Yeah. Weston it's funny because Scott's like an ex-cop and with Kentucky Ballistic, and so he does crazy stuff, but he's very conservative. Like he was in the car with Granger, and he was like, whoa, easy, slow down. He's like very much like a slow down guy. Like, I don't want anything to like go wrong or potentially flip it. And then we get in this bus with Weston, and he's just a guy that will just yell whatever's on his mind. He's just like, let's go, boys. And Granger was like, I didn't realize at the moment how dangerous that was until afterwards, that it's only the second time he'd ever driven this school bus.
Oh my gosh.
And go on Granger's TikTok or Yee Apparel Instagram, and you'll see the reel that we posted. I literally just posted it right before I got on this, of Weston driving this bus through the woods and then running into a tree. It's unreal.
And there will be videos for all of these coming out, right?
Yeah, so that's just like the short version. Basically, that's why I'm here, is to just like make the connections and then do like TikToks and like film it on my phone so that I can just put together a quick version. But the like long versions will be on, majority of them will be on, actually they'll all be on the Granger Smith YouTube channel. And then the Dutch video today will be on the Smiths, his family channel. Welcome
to a budding startup business where one day you're the CEO and then the other day you're just the guy with the phone filming TikToks.
Yeah, what's funny is what we were joking about is like we were at this music video with just this insane budget, and there was a crew of probably 20 plus people. And then Paul, Frames by Paul, Granger's videographer that a lot of y'all know now, he and I were like trying to get a thumbnail for the music video, and I was filming TikToks, and they were like, BTS, get out of the way. They call us BTS behind the scenes. They're like, guys, get out of the way, get out of the way. And we had to like pause them for a second and be like, guys, like the content that we're getting is going to get more views than the music video itself. Like, it's such like a new way of thinking, because when you like the old school, like we had this big budget, we have like the director who needs to get it done in a certain amount of time, this huge crew. It's like, what is this kid doing on an iPhone filming like on TikTok? But it's like, people don't realize that that promo on TikTok that I do of this music video, like, could be what catapults the video big. So it's an interesting dynamic. But, and it sounds bad. It's like, yeah, CEO, and then now you're just filming TikToks. But man, those TikToks and reels are the foundation of our brand, and I'll never look down on them. That's what keeps the engine going.
Well, and it's what we've talked about a lot of times with our content, that a lot of trust me, there are plenty of people that came to our brand because of knowing Granger or knowing Earl Dibbles or whatever the case is. But and that's a good portion. But the people, the crowd that are coming to our brand because they saw a meme on social media or they saw a video like what you're talking about is growing. And our socials, we're in the day-to-day of it, so we know how much our socials are growing. But I don't know if people realize how much it is growing right now. Just our TikTok and our Instagram and everything, and so is Granger's. But all of that is from people that see one video and then they go and follow us and they see more videos, and those people end up turning into customers. They may see a video one time and then they see a video a second or a third, and then 2 months later we have a launch and they've been seeing some of our gear and they buy from us. And 2 months ago, that person didn't even know who we were, you know?
Definitely.
Cool. Well, sounds like it's been fun. We're excited to have you back. I don't know about Caleb, if he's as excited to have you back as I am, because you're just going to yell at him for the warehouse being dirty again.
It'll be clean by the time you get here.
All right.
In 3 hours.
I've been trying to get everything out.
Cool. So that's all great and good. The other thing that was kind of a big happening this week, and this is something that's a little bit different and has been kind of in my world, and I'm not sure, we haven't even had a chance to like connect on any of this. So I haven't talked to Granger, I haven't talked to Tyler, I haven't talked to you. But a lot of people are talking about the possibility of a Yee Yee farm camel, a real live camel that lives at the Yee Yee farm. I wanted to like, the way that this started is I had a tweet a couple weeks ago that said, I can't wait for one day the Yee Yee farm to have lots of animals. And I said simple stuff like chickens, quail, which we already have both those things, pigs, cow. And then I just kept going. And then I threw in, I think I threw in camel, and all these people started like really latching on to the camel. And so then I had a tweet like 2 or 3 days ago about how we just hit 400K on Instagram, which, side note, is super impressive because we were just at 300K. We've grown 100K on Instagram in like 2 months, which is unheard of. And we're seeing an insane growth. And so then everyone was like, a lot of people started responding and saying, if y'all get 1 million, y'all should get a camel. And so the gears started turning in my head. And I texted Tyler, as I do often, and say, if I do blank, can I get blank? And I've done this 1 million times. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but it's never a camel. It's never anything like that. And Tyler texted back and said yes. And there were a few different caveats, which we'll talk about later, but then Granger called me and said something about it. So I was just trying to feel out how it's been on your end. Have you heard about the camel? Are you in the loop on this as much? And do you think that they're being serious, or am I getting my hopes up for a camel that I'm never going to own?
Well, our internal joke about Granger is every day he has a different plan or project that he wants to do with different animals or different projects. So it was actually perfect timing, because right when you said that, what's funny is right when I told them that you said that, because I saw it on Twitter, and Granger was like, just remember, everybody needs a friend. And so he just immediately called Hayden and was like, remember, he needs a friend. If you get a boy or a girl or whatever, Camel, and needs a friend, he can't just be alone out there. But that's funny that was the first thing that he thought of. But the next day we went to, or maybe I think it was that day, we went to Flair's, and Flair has Ralph at his farm. Flair's, first of all, Flair's farm is just hilarious because he just buys the most random stuff and has no idea what he's doing. He's just like he got Big Chungus, this giant rabbit, and was just like, I don't know.
Dude.
I'll just get like a heated water bowl. Yeah, it's just this massive rabbit. And he just like builds a little shed for it because he thinks that's what would keep it warm. And then like just built a tarp for the north winds where it's just freezing. And yeah, so he just has all these random animals. But he has Ralph, which is his camel, which is just the coolest. It's definitely the coolest animal. He's so nice. And he'll just come up to you and just like want to be pet. And so it's perfect timing because Granger loved him. And so in the back of my mind is like, Granger's definitely going to get a camel now, or be cool with us getting a camel at the farm now because like so friendly. And it just makes cool content because people love seeing people. It's like so random. It's like, who has a camel? So I think I think it's going to happen, honestly.
Well, and what I've learned from working with Granger and Tyler is that if something, like if they promise you or even give you a hint, like a glimmer of hope on anything, just take it and run with it.
There's a chance.
Like if
you get a sign.
Do what?
In the mail.
Yeah. So the next day I was telling Caleb, and the next day we got like some Texas magazine that's delivered to us every single month at the farm. And on the cover was this guy that raises camels. Not only that, he raises them in Valley Mills, Texas, which is 10 minutes away from where you and I grew up. So I just looked at Caleb and I held up and I was like, dude, it's a sign. Like, we're getting a camel. But with those two, if they give you any glimmer of hope, you have to run with it. And I just knew that if I posted about it, like, oh, Tyler said yes, it's really hard to go back on your word then. So I'm hoping I've got a few different things up my sleeve to try and help us get to 1 million as fast as possible. In the end, everyone benefits. And we talked about it a few days ago, doing something like a vlog series with the brand rather than like, the Smiths have their family vlog. And we want to roll out something along those lines at the farm. And I don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but I mean, a camel is going to be a cornerstone of a series like that. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think we could do just kind of a mixture of like what we all enjoy. Like I enjoy like shooting my bow, so we could do like some cool like long trick shots with like a bow. We could mix in like fishing once. I know we want to fill and stock those tanks. I know we want to get more into skeet shooting and bird hunting, and there's always vehicles, and there's honestly always some type of vehicle restoration going on. I know Butch and Bull and Granger have a crazy project that they're about to start after Earl Dibble's truck, and we could always give just like behind the scenes content of that. So I think there'll always be something.
Yeah, especially the more people we hire and the more stuff that's going on. So the camel fits in perfectly with that. Last thing that I want to talk about, then we're going to take a break for a second. Can you tell people, because as most know, I run a lot of the socials, and so I see a lot of the messages. And boy, am I getting hammered with questions about the restock. Everyone's asking about the restock. When's the restock? And a lot of people, and remember too, that a lot of people aren't as familiar with our brand. So they may have not been this may be their first launch they've ever been a part of. So let people know how the restock goes. Do we bring back items after that restock? Are they gone forever? How does that work?
So I'm not going to reorder anything from this launch. What we do is we get a bunch of inventory in, and then we put up the majority of it. And then Caleb will count out a certain amount of items of each product so that we don't oversell, and so that we can have room for people who need returns of different sizes for stuff that didn't fit. And so as of, I think yesterday, we caught up on orders from the 15th from the launch. And so hopefully what's today, Tuesday, or I guess it would be Wednesday was when tomorrow, this comes out on a Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping by the end of this week, we will be majority caught up on orders. Caleb, what are the numbers looking like on y'all's end? Do you think maybe the end of this week?
I actually think we're done with the orders. You mean just the launch orders or orders in general?
Orders in general.
Oh, we got like a couple
I
thousand.
got quite a few. So maybe by the end of this week, probably like midweek next week, we will do a restock of what we have available. So we'll go back and then we'll recount what we have left that we didn't put up in the store. And so it's not going to be big, but just keep an eye out for it. Go to the website now. I think Hayden may have taken off the notify me when available, but if you click the notify me or we removed a lot of the out of stock items. But if you had clicked notify me when available, you'll be the first to know when it's restocked. That was a long-winded answer to that, but yeah.
Yeah, and we always eat as long as you're on our email list. If you're not on our email list, go to our website, yee.com. Scroll to the bottom. There's a little spot to hit your email, and as long as you're on that email list, you'll get a notification a couple days before, and usually we do it at 10 a.m. on a certain day. And you should know if you're checking your email and you're on our email list, then you'll know whenever that's happening. Cool. Well, I guess that's it in our world. Nothing crazy has happened since you've been gone. So we'll go ahead and go to break, and we'll be back in a second. Hey guys, we just added a couple discounts at the Yee Yee apparel store at yee.com. What are those discounts again, Parker?
The code is Yee Yee Podcast at checkout, and we only have first 5 people available to use that, right, Hayden? First 5 people to use it will get the discount, and then you won't be able to use it anymore. So Yee Yee Podcast at checkout. So first 5 to do it will get the discount.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this right now, you better hurry. It's going to go soon. Welcome back, y'all. We are going to roll right into the new power rankings. So we did the power rankings segment last week. It was our first ever segment on episode 2, and we did the power rankings of the best beers that you can have. And that was super popular. We got a lot of good feedback on that. So I think we're going to keep this rolling. And this week, our topic, because the Super Bowl is on Sunday, we are going to do the power rankings of the best food and snacks that you can bring to a Super Bowl party. This is going to be highly, highly discussed. I think that a lot of people have certain snacks that they love and that they're very passionate about. And so this will be interesting to see how it goes. Parker, did you go? I think you went first last time. I'm going to let you know what? Caleb's our guest. I'm going to let Caleb go first, if that's okay.
Caleb has also been really bragging about his beforehand, right. So I'm eager to hear him.
Well, and not only that, 5 minutes before I go, do you have some? And he goes, yeah, I've got one. And I was like, no. You got to have multiple. And then he's like, I better start writing them down. He hadn't written any of them down. So
I thought it was just one. I thought I only had to have one, but I do have 3 really good ones that I'm pretty sure you guys are not going to have.
Okay, go for it.
What's the first one?
Also, I think this is a good time to say that I have 2 really good names for the camel. Okay, I've got 1 really good name for the camel. The bad name for the camel. Can I say the bad one?
You can say the bad one.
Okay, the bad name for the camel, which it's probably not going to end up being it, is Toe. And we'll just move right along into the good one, which is Camela Anderson.
What if we named one camel Camela Anderson, and then we just got one like in 5 years and called it Tommy Lee, and then they were just lovers.
We'll just get a male donkey name.
That's true. We can just get a donkey. Okay, now so back to the power rankings, since Caleb wanted to pull that out of left field and didn't want to speak up earlier.
So do I list all 3?
No. So you list one, then I'll go, then Parker will go, and then it'll go back to you.
And this is your number 1, right?
Yeah, so use your best one. Like, always use your best one first. Last week, Brian, saved one, he said. Just use your best one.
Okay, so my number 1 snack to bring to Super Bowl is called Cowboy Caviar.
Oh, yeah, what is that?
It is this. It has chopped up bell peppers. It has corn, black beans, tomato, and it's absolutely delicious. You also put, the powdered ranch dressing.
Oh, yeah.
And then a little bit of Italian dressing. I think it is unbelievable. Oh, and you use a lime chip to eat it with.
Yeah, that's a good first pitch. Have you ever noticed that it's so much better whenever you make your own ranch with the powder than actually buying the ranch?
You can just sprinkle it on anything.
Yeah. I know it's
Use
great.
it as seasoning, and I really want that to be a part of my life. I want to find some to do that with.
Yeah, it's good. All right, good first pick. Oh man, my first pick is going to be pigs in the blanket. They're handheld. You can eat. It's one of those things that you can eat literally 30 pigs in the blanket and not even think twice about it. And then you look up and you're like, oh man, it's almost halftime and I've eaten the entire platter of pigs in the blanket and I'm not sure anyone else has had any of these. It's solid. It's simple to make too. Like if you're making pigs in the blanket, people love you, but in reality, all you did was buy some dough and some little smokies, throw them together and you're done. It's just such a clutch. It's such a clutch thing to bring to the Super Bowl party. So that's what I'm going to go with for my first pick.
Am I next?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my number one was also pigs in the blanket. I was just telling you the other day, that's my favorite snack.
Let's go.
They're like the shot version of pork.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, do you go with the it's like a Vienna sausage in meat, and then do you go with the crescent roll on the outside, or you just go with like a regular roll dough?
Yeah, great question. I get the package. It's like vacuum sealed of the little smokies, and they're about like an inch long. And then I just get the crescent roll dough, Pillsbury, and then I just pull off pieces of that. And that's like, some people do Vienna sausage. I don't mind Vienna sausage, but I don't like it for this exactly. And then some people they try to church up their pigs in the blanket. Like there ain't no need to church it up. It's pigs in the blanket. It's simple. It's easy. Just make it exactly how it needs to be. And it's super cheap. Like you can make an entire platter of that for like $6. It's my go-to.
Yeah.
Croissant. Yeah. Wait, what did we say?
You said crescent.
Oh, crescent roll.
Like a crescent range.
Croissant roll.
Croissant roll, dude. We've been doing woodwork all week, and I just said crescent roll. Like I was thinking of crescent wrenches. My mind's elsewhere. Yeah.
No, I said crescent roll. I think isn't that how you say it?
Croissant.
Oh man.
Croissant. I always said crescent. Am I a redneck?
Oh man, this is embarrassing. If you've been pronouncing this, you rubbed off on me, but this is embarrassing if you've been pronouncing this wrong for 27 years.
I don't know. I think it's crescent, honestly.
Okay, we'll see later. As soon as this ends, I'm jumping on Google and looking that up. Yeah, Creek or Crick. We had a lot of interest. We have a lot of responses on that from our podcast last week. Okay, what's your first pick?
Me?
Yeah, you're up.
My first one was pigs in a blanket. My second one is jalapeno poppers, but not too hot, because I'm a baby when it comes to hot stuff. So I like just a little bit of heat, but you got to definitely get the seeds out of there. So for people who don't know what a jalapeno popper is, it is typically dove meat, but it could really be any kind of meat. And you get a little bit of like wild game bird meat typically. And then you get, Hayden's the master of this, but sometimes people get like a little piece of cheese. Sometimes people will put a little bit of cream cheese in there with it. And then you wrap it, you put it in, you cut a jalapeno in half and you put it inside, and then you wrap the outside of it in bacon. And then you get the grill real hot and then throw it on the grill. And then that's a jalapeno popper.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do it too. The most common one is without meat, but I think that's just because it's a lot cheaper and easier to do. But if you ever have like any type of, I've in my lifetime, I've done dove for the most part, but like you said, but then quail is great. Some people even do like chicken. I've never done chicken myself, but anything like that. Something that I've been doing recently with that is you can also melt the cream cheese a little bit and put shredded cheese in there and then mix that up. But then something that I've been doing recently is I found this jam at H-E-B that like you grill it per usual. And then with like 5 minutes left, you put this jam over it. You just coat it. And it sounds weird because it's spicy and then it's a sweet jam at the end. But I've grown up eating jalapeno poppers and it absolutely changed how I looked at them. So I think it's an apricot apricot jam. It's bomb. That's a great first pick, and that was probably gonna be my next round pick if you didn't pick that one. So
I don't know about the jam, but what about ranch powder?
Ranch powder on the poppers.
Yeah,
Now we're talking.
you could do it.
sounds delicious.
Okay, your second round pick.
Second round pick is a chili dip, but like the one rule with the chili dip is it can't be watery. So like big clumps and no water, no running. Like it needs to be really thick.
The thing that I didn't put anything on my list that would make me poop, and chili is definitely in that class. Like I'm trying to go to a Super Bowl party and be there for all 4 quarters, plus a halftime performance from J-Lo. I'm not trying to leave at halftime because I have to go home and poop, or go to the bathroom and just crowd that for 20 minutes. So that's my only thing with chili. Chili is something that's beautiful, but I think that it's something that should be enjoyed in the comfort of one's own home.
Who is the halftime performer this year?
The Weeknd, I believe, which is fine. Nothing will be J-Lo. I'm trying to think of some great performances the last few years. I mean, J-Lo was just...
I misunderstood the rules of this. I came up with stuff that I would only eat in my bathroom watching the Super Bowl on my phone.
Just laying in the bathtub, like ready for anything.
I'm ready for it. With cowboy caviar and chili dip.
Yeah, those two, if you eat those two together, you may only be at the Super Bowl party for 1 quarter. And a lot of people, that's actually a not a bad move, because a lot of people don't want to be out until 10 p.m. at someone else's house. So, I mean, it could be a really smart move to just go with the chili.
Yeah, Tyler would love that.
Tyler would love that. Okay, so my second pick, I can't believe this lasted this long. I'm going to go with the most all-American answer. The best thing to eat while you're watching football is wings. I don't really feel like I have to explain anything. It's wings. They're amazing. I'm personally a fan of buffalo wings. The buffalo sauce wings. I know that if you go to a wing place, they get real crazy with everything. I just like my buffalo wings. And the great thing about that too is that buffalo wings are one of those things that you can, and I've done this before. This is how I know. You can order it an hour before, run by, pick it up, bring your own Tupperware, throw it into that. You take it to the party, and everyone thinks that you made wings yourself. You didn't make wings yourself. You picked them up 1 hour before. But it's the easiest move in the book, and I've done that. I did that at last year's Super Bowl party. So hand up, I've done that before.
How do wings not make you poop?
Wings don't make me poop as much as chili would. I mean, it's up there. That's if I want to leave in the third quarter.
Boneless or bone?
Bone in. If it's a boneless wing, it's just a chicken tender, and I will stand by that forever. All right, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna go with I got a sweet tooth for my last one. I'm gonna go with puppy chow, homemade puppy chow. So you get Chex cereal, and then honestly, I don't know what else you put in it, but I think it's like powdered sugar, and then maybe cocoa powder, and then like a little bit of peanut butter, maybe just a little bit, and then it's just like this really good chocolatey snack. Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. I was waiting for someone to take the first sweet off the board. All right, you said your last one. I think that's your second, isn't it?
I had pigs in a blanket first, just like you, as my number one, and then I was jalapeno poppers, and then my third one is puppy chow.
Well, so if someone takes yours, you don't get to use it. So
Okay.
you don't have pigs in the blanket. So that was your second one. Now we're starting the third round.
All right, then I'll say.
Wait, no. It's not a snake draft. Now we're back to the front.
Okay, fine.
So upset. We should do a snake draft though, since it's more fair, because you're just getting the pick of the litter every round. Go ahead.
This is my first time.
All right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, last round.
Blackberry pie.
Blackberry pie? You're not gonna just go with pie to like appease the masses?
No, specifically blackberry pie, because I like it and I invite the fight.
Does that make you poop too?
Again, this is happening in my bathroom with me watching the Super Bowl on.
Oh yeah, the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're not going to a party. This is all happening.
No. This is pants down, wipes out. I'm ready.
On the toilet, just with the Super Bowl playing, like on your phone.
Yeah, you just occasionally lay down because your butt's gonna fall asleep. So you just get up, kind of shake it off, and you go back to eating.
Are you a laptop on the counter guy or a phone? Just holding the phone.
I have a whole desk built right now. I just fold it down. When I'm not using it, it hooks up,
I've always said in my first house, I'm going to have to mount a TV 2 feet in front of the toilet, like in the bathroom. It's one of those things. Like the other night, I'm watching college basketball and it's like 3 minutes left in a game. And I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom, but I want to finish the game. I was like, well, if I had a TV mounted, I would never have to deal with this ever.
So you should have started that party in your bathroom.
First 12 prob.
First world probs. Yeah, I kind of sound terrible for saying that. Okay, so my last pick. There are some on the board that I think are better, but I'm going to go with this one, and let me explain why. The spinach and artichoke dip.
Boo.
I know, and hear me out. This is the one that if you don't know what's in it, you just hear spinach and artichoke dip and you think, those things are green. That guy's being healthy. So in reality, the spinach and artichoke dip is possibly, out of all these things we've said, like it may still be the most unhealthy that you can have up here. It's terrible for you. You feel like you want to take you're going to take a food coma nap right after this. Like you're not doing anything. It's got cream cheese all in it. It's terrible for you. But if you come to the party with the spinach artichoke dip, everyone looks at that guy and they say, that guy's healthy. He's watching his figure. When in reality, it's just terrible for you. And it's super good too. It's really good. It's not as good as some of these other things, but I just like being the guy that everyone thinks he's at least being cognizant of what he's eating at the Super Bowl party, when in reality, that could not be further from the truth. So that's my last pick.
There's like a plant in it. It's like when you get a huge bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and then you throw a couple blueberries on top and then it makes it healthy.
It's like the who was the guy that got popular a few years ago, Salt Bae. It's like that's you at night before you have your cereal, just sprinkling little blueberries into it. It's like health. It's not healthy at all. All right, you're up. Last pick.
All right. My last pick, since Hayden made me pick another one and got mad at me last time. This one is going to be, I'm going to say, okay. Those who know me know that I like to go to bed early. I'll probably put some money on the Super Bowl this year just to keep it interesting so that it will make me care. I actually was listening to Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey yesterday on the bus. We were all listening to it. And he goes, I don't like to do life-changing money, but I like to do just enough to make me care.
Yeah.
So that's different for everybody. He goes, just enough to get a buzz. That's what he says. So just enough to keep you interested. I'm going to say energy drinks. I'm going to say if you brought a 6-pack of Monster Energy into my Super Bowl party, and I know Caleb's going to be on board with that, I'd be like, dude, this guy gets it, because I'm not like a huge alcohol guy, but I like to stay awake and have a little bit of energy. So yeah, that's my number 3.
I'm jealous. That was probably the best one I've heard.
Yeah, Caleb loves energy drinks. If you're listening and you didn't know, he's addicted. we've all got our vices. Hey, if energy drinks is the worst thing that you're ever addicted to, it's not that bad.
We talked about this. I'm not addicted. I just love them and have to have them.
Yeah.
At all times of the day. Well, also that brings me. We're done with that. That was a great power ranking. But that also brings you to the point that the Super Bowl is really weird because I will always, till I die, say that the Monday after Super Bowl should be a national holiday. It should 100% be a national holiday. No one should have to go to work. Like, we're getting out of work, and well, we aren't, but I know that USPS doesn't run on the most ridiculous holidays. And if you're from the government and you're listening to this, here's what I'm going to say. Sub out one of those weird holidays and put the day after Super Bowl there. We all need that day off. We're all in food comas. We all ate our entire weight in food the night before. Just let us have that day off. And so I think that I think that if you walk into the party with, there's two people, you walk into the party with the energy drinks or you walk into the party with the alcohol, you're one of two. Or you may be the person that you drink for the first half and then you slowly transition to water or the energy drink or whatever in the second half. I don't know. I think that I'm somewhere in the middle of that.
Be on a Saturday night. It would be so much more fun. And it would just change it up. It's like, I get NFL's on Sundays. Like, Sundays are iconic now because of the NFL. You can't change it. But I think it would be cool for the Super Bowl to change it up and have it be on a Saturday night. And, I mean, I think everybody would agree that it would be more fun. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's also mentally taxing on you. Like, I don't know, whenever I was, now I don't even try to watch the commercials, but I was always the kid, like you would get back to school on that Monday and everyone would be talking about, did you see that commercial? Did you see this commercial? And I didn't remember any of them. Like, I will watch an entire game and I'm the guy that's like, everybody shut up whenever the commercials come on. I still don't remember any of them. Like, I have to get on MSN the next day and like watch the Super Bowl commercial recaps because I don't remember any of the ones I watch besides the Budweiser. Besides the beer ones. The beer ones I usually remember. But besides that, I have a hard time remembering any of them.
The High Life one was the best.
Which one was that?
He just goes, High Life.
Oh, I remember that one. I remember that one.
That was like $30,000. High Life.
It was like a 2-second ad read and it's just like, boom, gone.
That was the best one.
All right, that was a good power ranking. By the way, who do you have in the game? Who are you going to go for? We've got the Chiefs and the Buccaneers.
I never bet against Tom Brady.
Yeah, you've been saying that since the start of the playoffs, and I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, but I actually have been betting against him, and obviously has not paid off well for me. I think I'm going to go back to the well, though. I really do think that there's a good chance that the Chiefs can blow this game out of the water.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. The Chiefs look very good, but you always got. Do you think this is going to be Tom Brady's last season?
No, I don't. I think that no matter what happens on Sunday, I think he's coming back. And I think that that's so opposite of what most of us would do. And a lot of quarterbacks have done. The Elways, the Troy Aikman, they left on top. But I just think that there's something different in Tom Brady's DNA. And I think he will continue to come back until the game is no longer fun to him. He cannot be passionate about it. And whenever he cannot compete. And the reality is he's going to have a great squad again next year. And no matter what happens on Sunday, they could come back and win the Super Bowl again next year. I really think that he's going to come back no matter what, which is just insane that we're talking about is he 43? Do you know how old he is?
43. That's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a quote the other day. He said he wants to play to 45. So that's 2 more seasons.
What is it about quarterbacks like Favre going to the Vikings? Like the last couple of years of your career, you go to just a totally different team. He went to his arch enemy.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. I think that you have your original team that's just at a crossroads, and it's like, well, do we keep this?
The original team kind of sees the future, and they're like, we need to start planning ahead for the next generation. This guy's only got a year or 2 left, and so they'd rather go ahead and get a young guy in and get him going rather than wait till your quarterback's on his last leg. I don't know. That would be my guess. I feel like that's the way it was with Green Bay, and I guess that was Aaron Rodgers at the time, huh?
Yeah, and now
and then they're like the last 2 years, they're like, at best Favre has 2 to 3 years left. We'd rather trade that value. We feel like Aaron Rodgers can be the guy now. We'd rather trade 2 years of Favre to bring in some different like people to work around our new system than drag this old dog till his last day. So.
The Patriots did not do that recently. They did not.
Also, that year, what's crazy too is it's the same thing happened with Brett Favre. He went to Minnesota, and I think he played a couple years and he did really well. Then he went to the Jets, and it kind of fell apart. But I remember I think he went to the NFC Championship in his first year with Minnesota and broke like a ton of records, and they barely lost to the Saints. I think it was an overtime game, or if not, it was really close, but I remember that game. But yeah, I mean, Tom Brady's doing the exact same thing, and he's putting up the same numbers. I mean, his numbers are stupid. And so it'll be interesting. I will say, I know that last year, Earl Dibbles in his Dip 'em and Pick 'em picked against Kansas City. And then I remember he played a show like 3 days later in Kansas City, and he wore, or Granger wore a Patrick. Well, I think it was just a Chiefs jersey. I don't think it was a Patrick Mahomes jersey, but Granger wore a jersey. And I remember everybody was mad. They're like, you picked the 49ers, and they ended up losing. And so I don't know if Earl's doing the Dip 'em and Pick 'em. I guess we'll figure out. We'll talk to him whenever in the next couple of days. But I have a hard time seeing Earl pick against the Chiefs twice. I'm just gonna say it, because can you imagine if he picked against them twice and then they won twice? Kansas City fans would be so mad. All right. Well, I guess the last thing that we've got is, or I guess we got a couple questions. We had a couple questions. I sent these over to you before. We had some really good ones this week. Let me pull them up real quick. All right. The first question that we got this week. What is your favorite meat to eat and why? I'll let you go first.
Am I starting?
Yeah.
I would say fresh venison. I grew up hunting whitetail, so I think the just like searing fresh venison just on the skillet, fresh or over the fire, that's a deep primal, get you back to your roots of being a human. Especially, ideally, you are the one to kill the animal too, but killing an animal and going through the effort to hunt it down, skin it, and cook it, it humbles you and gets you back to your roots. And so that would be mine.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm just a ribeye. I'm super boring, but I love a good ribeye. A really good one, like a really, really good ribeye from like a meat market or something that it's a great cut of meat and you get to go pick it out and it's a good thick one. That's my favorite. What about you?
Sir, does it have to be turf?
It can be anything. Yeah, I thought about surf.
I usually gravitate towards shrimp. If I'm at a restaurant and I can get anything, it'll probably have shrimp in it. I don't know why. I'm from Colorado, so I don't like. Maybe that's why I grew up like this a rarity.
Far away from the ocean. It's a good one. Parker, here's one for you. How was Parker's experience being the handler of Reveille at A&M? Why did he try out, and what was the experience like? And was it what you thought it would be?
My dad was in the Corps at A&M. It's the NROTC program at Texas A&M, the Corps of Cadets, for those that don't know. And so it's basically a military school within the Texas A&M school. And about half the people go into the military, and then half of them are just in it just to be in it. And so it's kind of like a fraternity of brothers. For those that aren't going to the military, you just go in it to make lifelong friends and learn a lot about leadership and get put into stressful situations. You learn how to follow first, and you learn how to lead. And Granger was in E2, and I was for sure going to go to Texas Tech and take a different route. Changed my mind at the last minute, listened to my gut, went to A&M and got into the mascot company. And then when you're a freshman in the mascot company, that's the biggest role that you can get. They just play that up from the very beginning. That's like the job. And so I obviously wanted to do it. And yeah, it was a lot of work, and it was like honestly more work than I thought it was going to be. And just the day in, day out struggle of trying to get to class with her was very taxing at the time, but looking back, it was a lifelong memory and totally worth it. And I was lucky to be a part of that fraternity of guys. And the past handlers were just all such studs. So I was just lucky to be a part of it, and super fortunate to get that position. But yeah, it was some of the coolest memories. And that was the last year that I had my dad here before he passed away, and he was a lifelong Aggie. And so to experience like running out of the tunnel at Kyle Field, like with my dad there, just a few months before he died, was super special. So I always have that bond with him.
Yeah, I mean the running out with Reveille in front of the Texas A&M football team is just insane. What an experience. Cool. this question is kind of, I guess, for both of us. I'll let you lead off first. This person said, I want to start a clothing brand, but I don't know where to begin. How do I make a product and market it with a small budget? So I'll let you handle the product side of it, and then I'll chat a little bit about the marketing side of it.
It's kind of it's kind of hard to answer without knowing anything about their niche or what they want to do. But I'd say figure out what makes you different than every other person. Everybody's making a clothing brand right now. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of clothing brands out there. So ask yourself why you want to do it. First of all, try to find an opening in the market where you feel like there's a consumer that's not being talked to or not being communicated with the right way. And then make a product that, you know, if you want results, you know, you got to stand out and you got to have the best product out there, or you need to have a brand that's interesting, that stands out, and a brand message and a face that stands out that other people aren't doing. One of those two things. You either got to be marketing it correctly, or you got to have a product that speaks for itself and is so good that nobody can ignore you. So for us, Granger created the brand with Earl and Yee Yee, and then our job has just been to try to catch up with product quality ever since, which is much easier said than done. And we have a very long way to go. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I feel like we're not even close to being the right product quality yet. But I don't know if that helps at all, but man, just there's so much free information out there. YouTube it, try to find some suppliers and start. Have the humility to set the bar properly low and buy, even if you can only afford 10 shirts, and focus on providing value on TikTok and all the social platforms to be able to differentiate yourself and, you know, create a brand story.
Yeah, I think if you're working with a small budget, you have to be really careful. I think I see what a lot of times people do that even us as a mid-sized brand that we don't do, is you'll see some new brand start off and they have 20 different products, and what you should really be doing, and I'm talking like clothing, you know, you have 20 different shirts. Well, we don't even have 20 different shirts. We have much less, about a quarter of that, about half that, a quarter to a half of that. So what I would say is to spend that budget on marketing and go after like 1 or 2 great shirts that really, like, you get that logo made and you want people to recognize that. Invest in that early on. And also, like, something that is completely forgotten is everyone wants to put money into ads and email and everything, but there's still a huge opportunity for organic posts and connecting with people organically. And we're a great example of that. We do that all the time. And just remember, we still try to remember that every single customer matters, no matter how much they spend and no matter how many times they purchase from us. And we've never lost sight of that. And I think that a lot of people do as they grow. But in the early stages, you really, really shouldn't. Like, if someone buys from you and you're doing 10 orders a week or 10 orders a month or wherever you're at in that small early stages, do everything you can to keep them back. Like, look them up. Like, look them up from your apparel page. Go DM them and say, hey, man, you know, thank you so much for buying from us. We really appreciate it. Like, we've got some new stuff coming out in a month or whatever, but you need every single one of those cheerleaders early on to support your brand and tell their friends. And so I would just say to invest in those relationships and spend a lot of time in those areas. What do each of y'all enjoy doing for fun outside of work? Caleb, what do you enjoy doing for fun outside of work?
I like to drink energy drinks.
Just goes home, does the exact same thing that he does at work.
Just an energy drink connoisseur. No, I live that cardboard life. I just hang out with corrugated paper outside of work.
Well, there's we have a pyramid of just cardboard in the warehouse because there's just never ending supply of cardboard from old boxes. So sometimes that's half of what Caleb's doing is himself or getting the shippers to break down cardboard.
Now music. Still just playing music.
Sorry, we're getting notifications over here. Yeah, you do a lot of music, and I feel like he stays up late a lot, Caleb does, and I feel like that's what you're always doing is watching YouTube of old music videos and different things like that.
Writing.
Nice. What about you, Part?
Golf and piano.
I could have guessed that. I know too much about you now living with you.
We started a band called Parker and the Prepackers.
Parker and the pre-packers, it's just you and all the shippers. For me, I would just say sports. I'm starting to try to get into homesteading type stuff. And obviously the camel is not going to help with that because I can't eat the camel, but I want to do some different animals. I like to cook. And so that kind of goes hand in hand with that. I like to read a lot. And then, sports. I've got Cooper, the Beagle. That's a lot of y'all have seen him on the socials. And so he's mine. So I do a lot of stuff with him in my free time as well. Last question. This is for you, Parker. How do you decide to do new products that you've never released before? So I think this means we know shirts are going to sell. We know hats are going to sell. How do you go out on a limb and do some of these products that we've never done before that is a first of its kind for Yee apparel?
Man, I like to just look around in the industry and outside the industry. And then you and I listen to feedback a lot and get ideas from people of different miscellaneous stuff. And I just try to keep my mind open to different opportunities that we can use the brand and throw Yee on stuff that we may not necessarily know how to make, but someone else knows how to make something really cool. So that's kind of one of the things I'm looking forward to this year is starting to collab with people and license the Yee name to put it on some cool stuff.
Yeah, that's what's exciting. I mean, our bread and butter, what do you call them?
Meat and cheese.
The meat and cheese. Caleb came up with this term. The meat and cheese is a lot of the things that you'll see in our store last year. You'll see it this year. You'll see it next year. It's a lot of the things that sometimes are best sellers, a lot of the original things that we continue to sell a lot of, but it's super exciting whenever we get something new coming in a new collection. So we try to do that as much as we can and get some new products. And we really do listen to that feedback on those whenever we get feedback from fans, and that helps a lot. All right. I think that's it for the questions. We'll have some good ones next week. Thank you, guys. Go ahead and tweet at us, comment on this post, message us. We like to answer these questions, and we have to search. We've been having a search for them a little bit more recently. So send us any questions that you have, comment on the YouTube below or whatever you may be listening on. And while I'm at it, also follow us, save this episode, like us, everything, whatever you're listening on. I know it can be Spotify or anything like that. Keep that going. We're going to end with good news of the week. What you got for good news of the week? Make it quick.
Good news of the week is the TikTok of Weston and Granger on the bus is going viral faster than any video I've ever seen. It's already at 1 million in an hour. So go check that out on TikTok, Granger Smith.
Perfect. My good news of the week is that NCAA is coming back platforms. NCAA football is back. It's my childhood. It's finally making a comeback. It was announced today. What you got?
I found a new energy drink that I like. It's jackfruit flavor. It's amazing.
That's Caleb's good news of the week. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.